So this one I'm super excited about, guys, just part of my daily snake postings. And this one's the first eastern hognose snake I ever caught down in Arkansas. Very, very cool. I love these snakes. We grew up with them up in Wisconsin. The Little Peppers have definitely enjoyed some up there, and I think they're a great snake, especially to introduce people to wild snakes for a number of reasons. But one thing about this guy, and I'll switch to some footage from when we first found it, you know, just minutes afterwards in a second. But these guys are so cool. They're masters of defense mechanisms. It's pretty much a snake that's not really ever going to bite you, although it will bluff. It'll, you know, mock bite and strike with its mouth closed. They will play possum or dead to the point that if they're on their belly, you know, if you roll them back over to where it looks like they're alive, they'll flip themselves back over, and you can sit there and argue with them for a very long time. They'll huff. People call them blow snakes or puff adders. They can actually puff up their head like a cobra. They regurgitate, which happens, you know, with other snakes as well. And then they'll musk, which is kind of emitting some foul stench and defecating and stuff out of there too. So, but this guy, we actually saw where he would open his mouth and just like a cottonmouth almost. It was incredible. I'd never seen anything like it. So we did find one of these down by the lake, ran over a while ago. But this one is the first live one we caught. I was driving. I saw it on the road. I don't know if I straddled it or went around it, and I just threw the thing in park and jumped out, and I'm like, wait a minute, what in the world is this? Because it'd been so long since I've seen one. And they get a lot of different color morphs. The babies will often start off kind of gray, white, and black more, but then they'll get to the point where they're more just different shades of brown, as you can see this beautiful one here. They've got that nice little nose that's upturned. So that's why they're called a hog-nose snake, because they got the upturned nose in the front. They'll use that for kind of moving around the dirt, leaf litter, things like that. Their primary food in a lot of places is going to be the American toad. And the cool thing about that is I've known people who ran nature centers before, and we used to actually stock a lot of nature centers just because we're always out there just interacting with the animals. And that was really cool as a kid, because we could bring them little things in the spring. They'd keep them all year, feed them and grow them. You could stop in and check on their growth and see how they're doing throughout the year. But since they eat toads, a lot of times they won't even eat a frog. So if it was a time when it was hard to find toads, but frogs were plentiful, people who would run these nature centers would have like a pet toad that they would keep as well. Then when they caught the frog, they would rub the frog on the toad so that the frog then smelled like a toad. And when they put that in the cage with these guys, they would eat them like that. Now, we had one once late in Wisconsin where we found it really late in the year, and it got like a hard snap, seriously, that never snapped out of. So we actually overwintered one in an aquarium in our house. And in that aquarium was also a frog, and it sat there for months, from the fall of the year until the spring. And it never touched it, never ate it. So you got an eastern hognose snake living with a frog. Now, the second I caught the first toad of spring, we took the frog out for a minute, rubbed it on the toad, put the same frog it had spent months with back in the aquarium, the terrarium with it, and just like that, just ate it immediately. So one thing that you'll be able to see in the video that I show you of this too, from when we first caught him, and I'd never seen him just with the open mouth display ever. I've seen so many different defense mechanisms from the guy. Oh yeah, they'll wiggle around like crazy, like their head's cut off too. Sometimes, which is just fascinating to watch, because it just never stops. They just go and go and go, and then sometimes they'll regurgitate and act dead afterwards or something. But just incredible. But this guy with his open mouth display, one thing you'll be able to notice is if you look down into his mouth, you'll see they're a rear fang snake. That they don't have, you know, fangs in front. They've actually got some fangs back over here. And one thing that they do with that is they'll actually use them to deflate toads, which is pretty crazy, because, you know, a toad will puff up, like many creatures will. I mean, even these guys will puff up, a lot of snakes will, but they'll puff up to make themselves bigger, make it harder to get swallowed if they get in a situation like that. And these guys actually have, you know, fangs in the rear of their mouth that are designed to puff, you know, to pop that puffed up toad, so they can actually swallow them. So beautiful snake, absolutely incredible. I'll show you guys that other footage and maybe insert a couple clips of some other stuff. But I love these guys, eastern hognose snakes. If you're not familiar with them, it's a great one too. And like I said, it's a great one to introduce people to wild snakes, because they're pretty chill. It's amazing to watch the defense mechanisms, and that's one reason I really didn't handle it all. I grabbed it, I put it in a snake bag, and I waited to open it up and try to get some of the defense mechanisms on camera, because they'll settle down pretty quick. And as fascinating as the defense mechanisms are, they'll settle down really fast, and they'll be pretty chill, and also they'll pretty much never bite you. So if people are afraid of snakes and you have one that's really not going to bite you, that's way better. So definitely like them, definitely enjoy them. Alright guys, Papa Pepper here today. I have an exciting one for you. This wiggly bag here actually has the first live Arkansas eastern hognose snake I've ever seen or caught in my entire life. We did find one that was roadkill once, and I was really sad to meet it like that. But this one is not roadkill. It's alive. So I'm very excited because these are one of my favorite snakes, and I think they're a great wild snake to especially introduce children to snakes, because this is one that's got a lot of defense mechanisms, like a lot, but it's never really going to bite you. Oh, and it is so beautiful and fat bodied here. Just a beautiful snake. Let's check it out on the ground once. Ooh, look at it go. Look at that boy. Look at him go. Look at the snake Nope. Nope, no. Oh, for a second now.
Oh, that's a big one. He's smiling. It looks like a smile.
Alright, trying to get back there and get some chicken.
And they'll do they'll fake strike at you too, they'll mock strike, but they won't actually really bite you. Yeah,
I got it.
See that?
I got it.
Oh yeah, you're scary. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. How's that for a hog nose?
Really fat. So can they bite you?
It technically could.
Can he poison you?
They're a rear-fanged snake. But it wouldn't be as bad as something else.
Can I hang on to all of this? Make it help.
In all my eastern hognoses, I've never seen one actually just display itself like that, because that's like what a cottonmouth does.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.